settled in Kansas, and some of those people were really good farmers, and they knew how to do lots of things, and in fact, they were brave fighters. They fought to make sure that people were free in the land of Kansas. And those people got to be known as Jayhawkers. And there were some other people that came from far in the east. They were kind of city slicker people. There were a few names for them. The one that I'll tell you is Greenhorn. Okay, so in this story, a greenhorn and his wife and his kids moved to Kansas because they knew there was free land. And they found a farm that was theirs for the taking. It already had a beautiful big barn, and all around was a lot of land just ready to be plowed. And the greenhorn didn't quite know how to go about that. His wife said, you know, I think most people get a mule in order to plow their land. And so he wondered, well, gee, how would I get a mule? And he went to his neighbor, who was a jayhawker, and he said, neighbor, I'm in the market for a mule, and I have no idea how to go about getting one. His neighbor said, well, sizing up this greenhorn, said, well, you could put an ad in the paper saying that you're looking for a mule. But, you know, if you want to do it the Kansas way, you'll hatch out your own mule from an egg. Egg? I didn't know mules came from eggs. Oh, yeah, mules come from eggs. And you know what happens if you hatch them out from an egg? As soon as that baby mule hatches out, he looks at you and he thinks you're his mama. And then you can train him up in all the right ways to plow. And in fact, pretty soon that mule will be plowing so hard, all you pretty much have to do is stand back and watch him go, and your fields get plowed. Wow, the greenhorn's eyes got really big. He just loved the idea that he could do a whole bunch of work without really doing any work at all. So he said, well, of course I want to do it the Kansas way. Where would I get one of them mule eggs? Well, the jayhawker said, I was saving it, but I just happen to have one left from the last batch that I hatched out, and I'll sell it to you for $5, which was a lot of money back then. Not that much for a mule, though, so the greenhorn thought he was getting a pretty good bargain. He said, I'll take it, handed over $5. And the farmer went back into his shed and brought out a big, brown, hairy coconut. And he said, here you go, it's your mule egg, and all you got to do is sit on it night and day for a whole week, and it'll hatch out into a baby mule. You know, sometimes you got to sit on it for 2 weeks, and sometimes nothing happens unless you sit on it for 3 weeks, but you just keep sitting night and day. Now remember, okay, said the greenhorn, and he hurried home. Oh, his wife and his kids, they were all so happy, and they took turns sitting on that mule egg night and day. They got up in the middle of the night, they were sleepy, but there they sat on that big old hairy coconut. And at the end of the first week, they looked down, they picked up the coconut, they listened, no sign of a baby mule. They said, well, must be a slow hatching one. So for the next week, they continued sitting on that egg night and day. They got up in the middle of the night, in the middle of the day, heat, rain, anything. They sat on that coconut. And at the end of the second week, they looked again, they listened to it, no sign of a mule. So another week went on, night and day. They took turns sitting on that coconut. And finally, at the end of the 3 weeks, everybody's bottoms were really sore from sitting around on a coconut all the time. And they said, you know, I don't think a mule is going to hatch out of this egg after all. And his wife said, honey, maybe it's just a bad egg. Why don't you just throw it away and we'll go back to the neighbor and see if he has another one. So the greenhorn picked up the coconut, took it outside, and he pitched it out into a great big stand of prairie grass, and that startled a jackrabbit that was in the grass. And it came running out of there, and the family said, the baby mule, the baby mule. So the greenhorn started running after the jackrabbit saying, baby, baby, it's your mama. Come back, baby mule, come back. And he ran, and the mule went right, dodged left, and faked right and left, and finally booped down into a hole. Well, this greenhorn had run as fast as he could, and so when that baby mule disappeared, he collapsed, panting, sweating, and a few moments later his wife and kids caught up with him and they raised him to his feet. They said, where's our baby mule? He said, the darn blade thing got away. You know what, I ain't sorry about it either, because I don't aim to plow that fast. Happy birthday, Kansas. All of us Jayhawkers and a few greenhorns. We celebrate our fellowship in part by supporting its mission, and we'll send around our offering baskets to collect your offerings for the fellowship, and also your spare change. The kids have a social justice project they're doing, and any change goes to change